We are live. Hello, everyone. This is NGC joining again for another fresh off React discussion of the most recent has been. Gosh, I'm never going to not mix up their names sometimes. Helluva Boss, Season 2, Episode 8, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it was.
All right.
Yep.
And before we go over in thoughts, I might go through a quick introduction. Random Skype order. Carlos?
Hello, this is the Gunmetal Gator here, just telling you all, look out under the sheets, because the Sewer Gator's coming right at you for lunch.
All right. Next up, Wolf.
Hello, everyone. It is I, the chaotic content creator who also learned everything she knows about making content from Tommy Eden, for better or for worse, and fell in love with a show about 40 demons with relationship issues. And anytime anyone mentions something I like, I will not shut up about it, overanalyze it to fucking death, and I guess that's why they call me a brony analyst. Thank you for having me.
Yay!
And next up, Second and A.
Hi there, this is the Second Opinion, Daylover, and from a critic first, and a fan second. Second opinion, bam-a-lam, second opinion, bam-a-lam, that's reading a review, bam-a-lam, that's watching a little show, bam-a-lam, getting more that you know, bam-a-lam, that's watching it again, bam-a-lam, that's got 2 bam-a-lam, I have learned how to rise, bam-a-lam. I am not food.
I did not think you could follow up Whale of a Tale, but you actually did it. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
I should flush that one out. Oh well. Thank you and good night. And my wife Daylover here.
Hello. How's everybody?
That's it.
Well, you just stole everything. Next.
Oh. Including your heart.
Yes.
Ow.
And then next up, Jenn.
I may be first, I may be last. I really am last in this lineup, and it's Friday night, and I have no intro, but I am first and always Jenn. Hello, Internet.
Hello, Jenn.
But with that said, I guess we might as well go on to our immediate thoughts in this episode, which I think we can all agree we all liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
I feel like we have to start with the ending because that's going to be the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
No matter what.
we're going to need to talk about the conflictions here because I've seen this episode before and heard some people's thoughts about it, and I'm like,
Same.
I feel like we might finally have a bit of a division between who people side on for like this sort of conflict here.
Yeah.
Because it's like, ooh, the big romantic misunderstanding here on like Stolas' end, because Blitz has always been under the implication of like, oh hey, this has always been about sex and transaction. I mean, remember the last time they've been to like somewhere public together, in which I might have thought it might have been something more, but then you just was like shamed into basically accepting that, oh, this is just transactional all the way back in Ozzy's. And then I've just been awkward about it. And we haven't been doing the sex scene at all for like a few months now. It's just been hanging out for some moments, like in episode 2 of season 2, or even okay, I think that was really it, season 2, episode 2, because then 3 and 4 weren't really, they weren't really together. It was just tangentially, like they were close proximity, but they didn't even know they were working at different angles because Stolas was focusing on getting the Asmodean crystal the entire time.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not really been a lot of Stolas and Blitz action because guess what? He wasn't there when he was kidnapped by dear old Striker.
That's right.
So you might see why this sort of like miscommunication might occur, because it's like, okay, I have all these lofty expectations, but Blitz is like very simple-minded and very conflicted over him possibly being loved after already being betrayed by Stolas a bit publicly like that. So yeah, could definitely see why Blitz acted out like that, and might not really be fully on Stolas' side. That's just all I'm saying.
Hmm.
Oh, so we have one on Blitz's side.
Was that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but I feel like Blitz.
I think me
Blitz
and
was.
Second are holding with one of each.
No
but
spoiler.
Like which side are you on? What side are you guys on?
I'm
Daylover and I?
I'm biased because
Yeah.
of my fear of abandonment and personal issues. So I'm sort of mixed. I can see Stolas' perspective,
Mhm.
but I am scared of abandonment. So I'm mixed.
Gotcha.
Choose neutral.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, Stolitz is my favorite character, and I did go through this whole episode, like, really hoping that Blitz didn't mess it all up.
Same.
So color me surprised when I kind of feel like Stolitz did.
Yeah.
All right, how do you feel like Stolitz messed it up?
I feel like he willfully opened up a, tender, like, really volatile emotional layer there willfully and didn't want to do the work to resolve it. It seemed like a self-fulfilling prophecy that, like he is like trying to project all these like hopes onto this and all this like his speech, his vision of what the correct way for this to work out will be, and then when it doesn't go there, he just like immediately jumps to the worst. It's almost like he throws a pity party for it. I mean, what Blitz said wasn't nice or terribly fair or even accurate, but he was at least trying to dig his heels in and fight for it. He was, even if it did speak to his own personal insecure shortcomings, he was, sincerely expressing that the hang-ups that he thought, deserved to be validated, or that more importantly, he couldn't, like, continue this without taking into account. He was trying to speak sincerely.
Yeah. I'm vice versa because I really liked what he did, like bringing Blitz in, showing him that he was wanting the book, but giving him a other option so he could freely, come and go as he pleases. He even tells him that you're free to go, but I want you to stay. Yeah. But Blitz took it the wrong way and wanted to, or thought that he wanted to roleplay. And I was just like, man, he already asked for the book. He already gave you the gem. He already explained kind of sort of that he was really serious. Like, I don't know, like, I think it went a little too fast for Blitz, for him to get the full understanding. But I'm also holding with Stolas here a lot because, like, he's trying to put all of his emotional things on a platter, and it might have been a little bit too much for Blitz.
Well, I mean, I feel like Stolitz knows who and what Blitz is for the more or less after like time with him, and I feel like, okay, if you want to, rip the Band-Aid off and say like, okay, can you and I do the work to make a real relationship out of what you are and what I am? Well, you have to be ready to, clean through what actually comes out. And I mean, like, the thought that Blitz would try to deflect and take it back to his comfort zone, to sex, and to, not be ready for emotional intimacy if it doesn't, if he's not sure it has to go there. I mean, well, of course he would. That's, I mean, I feel like Stolitz was more trying to project the result he wanted than he was prepared to potentially get to the good result that was on the table there.
Yeah, they did show kind of like that in the Striker hallucination.
The what hallucination?
When they sort of, the bad trip where it shows like all the different characters who he thinks he's hurt. They sort of show that with Stolas. And how he craves emotional intimacy, but he doesn't know how to.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I remember which part that was. Like they were showing the different characters and showing what with Stolitz.
That he wants emotional empathy.
So, which part? It's partly the bad connection here that I can't hear every word. But which part was showing that?
Oh, the episode where they get kidnapped by the dorks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that also shows that Stolas is going to be willing to do anything for Blitz. Like he saved them from.
Yeah, he protected Blitz. I mean, it's not that Stolitz isn't a much more well-rounded individual than Blitz is, and I mean
that I didn't defend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm saying no. Well, are we mixing the ninja? Because Stolas, I feel like he has his own bag of issues, true enough, but I mean, he's definitely a more well-rounded individual than Blitz is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like he, I don't know if he's too innocent or if he's like hasn't doesn't have enough experience with a marriage being forced right onto him with actually dating with people. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it's weird. He's an intelligent guy. He says in his song that he's afraid. He's just naive to think this could work. But I mean, it's like it feels very romanticized, including how it has to go to dramatic hell if it doesn't work out. It feels very in theory with the two ways he pictures this having to be one. Yeah.
Well, maybe he just wanted to actually, I'm thinking about like him, as you said, if it's really true that he tried to get the result that he wanted, then this was it, right? Because like that would also be maybe more healthy for both of them, that he makes it, it's not you, it's me, kind of, sort of.
I mean, I've seen people, including a professional therapist, accuse Stolitz of doing a good job accepting the answer he was given, of not showing, like, neediness or,
Oh, yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or, like, or giving in to Blitz, like, trying to take this in the direction that Blitz would be more comfortable with it going.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, and I mean, true enough there, but, like, again, you can't, I mean, if you really do want a relationship with the person you've got, then they have to accept that they are the person you've got. I mean, if he, like because I mean, it's not even necessarily that the things he wants from Blitz aren't there at all, but I mean, I think the deflection and the, fear of emotional vulnerability. I mean, we all knew Blitz was going to do that probably without being asked. And I mean,
like the role play. Yeah, I was like, he's going to not understand.
Yeah.
That he was giving freedom. Like that's also like a really big thing for Blitz. I don't think he fully understand what was going on right there, and more explanation about like him. Actually being totally free. But he says that he wants the book, He says that I want to continue, kind of, sort of, but like...
Yeah, Blitz didn't want to change the arrangement.
No,
and then
really the arrangement is still only sex. Not...
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, Blitz, like... Well, I mean, he can get that other places, I think.
Yes.
He did make it clear that he wanted that from Stolitz, and I mean, I think that he, I don't think it was total naivete on Blitz's part, because that's not really a thing that happens. I think that, like, he was trying to sort of deflect it, almost like will it to be something he was more comfortable with.
But also, sorry to say, but then Blitz already have been unfaithful, because then he was together with a lot of guys in the episode with the honey honeybee.
Okay, I think there is exactly a 0% chance that Stolas thinks Blitz is not.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But what are you
sexual
saying?
anywhere else.
Yeah, but what you're saying with like him only having one is like he can get it from other places. I think like Stolas is also trying to protect himself now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems like you had a lot of half points that were coming out in equal, disparate measures there. You think that Stolitz wants this to be a healthier relationship,
Yes.
and you.
And I don't think that Blitz can handle that.
Well, I mean, okay.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but I mean, unless you honestly don't want the relationship, which I'm sorry, I gotta say, it seemed like Stolas did. Then okay, I mean, it's one thing if you don't want it and to cut the ties, but all right, if you do, and okay, that's how you attempt to resolve your problems. You storm off when someone because they can't pretend to be something they're not when they express what they actually feel, and you,
Yeah.
But that wasn't the answer I wanted. Like, I mean, I don't think that's an earnest attempt to,
But he was
get
trying
this relationship that Stolitz says he wants.
Earnest.
He
like turned him down like 3 times and tried to make him understand. Now this is serious.
Yeah, again, but you can't just do it in a vacuum. You can't just do it at a wall. You have to do it to the person you want the relationship with. I mean, that's you have to, take them as they are and, do the work to go through the give and take that comes with that and then get to the end, either like having learned, not just conjectured, but learned whether you two can work this out or not.
But the thing is with Stolitz is that, but the thing is sometimes that person, that person can reach their limit at some point. They have to, at some point, the game's got to stop. At some point, the rose-colored glasses got to come off. At some point, you've got to be at a point where, like, hold on, you're right. It can be said that Stolitz may have been trying to make this in a way that he wanted. But the thing is he didn't like force anything and such. And honestly, I think that's a good thing. It can be a bad thing to force it, but it can be a good thing to kind of nudge things anywhere. And I think Stolitz was I think Stolitz was kind of testing out the waters and such with Blitz to see what he definitely had the potential of it. And you gotta remember where Stolitz is coming from. He's in a place where he's divorcing that other Goetia female, and he's also a father with a daughter. So he's got and part of the Goetia noble house. He's got a lot on his plate already, and excuse me, allergies.
Same.
He's got a lot on his plate already, and in the beginning, it could have been, it was probably all fun and games with him in the beginning because it was a break from all that was going on with him. But Stolitz has reached a point where, unfortunately for him, he's caught feelings. But he's also coming from a very vulnerable point. Where he's wanting connection, and he's wanting connection, everything with Blitz and such because of their history and everything. And he's gone along with it, I think, because he's afraid of losing that connection with Blitz. And the thing is, this is on Blitz because neither one of them have known like real connection and such. Blitz doesn't know what he wants. Blitz doesn't know what he wants for real. Oh, excuse me.
It doesn't indeed.
Blitz does not know what he wants for real. He could never. And Stolitz, I think, in a way he does, but in a way he does, but in the way I think he does, he thinks he does, but he doesn't know. But also at this point, But at this point, he's done a lot for Blitz for giving him the grimoire, and also I think this was also kind of a test for Blitz.
Yeah. The crystal is definitely a test.
The test is for I think that was a test just to see what he'd do with it.
What he would do.
Well, I think that he said as much. He wanted to remove the transactional element and see whether they could truly. I mean, he straight up said what it was. I want you to stay with me if you want to.
And what is the first thing that says that he wants the book back?
And kudos to Stolitz for being brave enough to say what he wants.
Yeah.
And that has been hard for him to do because he's been duty bound for a long time. And now for him to be finally honest and such with Blitz, and Blitz just responds the way Blitz always does. And that tells Stolitz that no, he's not listening. It's like he's not listening to you. He's not listening to what he feels. Stolitz ultimately wants more than sex.
Yeah.
He's unfortunately caught feelings for the wrong person, or in this case, the wrong imp.
Well,
and
like he still has time to make it right, but he had to do it fast though if he wants to, and I fear that he's not going to do that.
And Stolitz, and one thing I commend Stolitz for doing is, I agree with you what you said, Day. He's removing the transactional part of it, and that was honestly really big of him to do. That was really
as well.
That's really big of him to do, to give that. There's like now he makes sure, and he genuinely does care about Blitz, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have given him the crystal.
No,
that way he would not have given him the means to keep running his business. So
he could have been like keeping both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he gave him the means to keep on running the business, and that way, and at the same time, but also in Blitz's kind of rant there, that's genuine and raw coming from Blitz. That's as honest and genuine and raw coming from Blitz as you're gonna get. That was some. He was letting out some freaking pain there, and then I think that could have cut, and that no doubtedly it cut Stolitz down like there too. So in that final moment, Blitz was finally being honest about there too. Stolitz probably had a right to be hurt and everything, but actually he said it himself. He has his answer, and he has his answer. There's no way whatever emotions and love that he has in his heart is going to cut through whatever Blitz has got in his. So for the sake of both of them, he took it upon himself to kind of cut the ties. And I'm thinking that must have been really, really hard for him. And I still think in this case, Blitz doesn't get it. The only thing Blitz doesn't.
That's the thing is, I feel this needs to be said. Like this obviously isn't the end of the relationship period.
No.
Yeah.
I think this is the point where like this leading up to this was Stolitz's growth and him sort of basically living option. Now it's going to be Blitz's turn, which from the preview we've seen he's going to have some interaction with his ex.
Like Rosca.
Or his ex, what's her name?
Rosca.
Rosca. Yeah. So that's probably going to be his moment of growth, of just basically reflecting on both how he can screw up a relationship, but also what can make someone actually want to be in a relationship with them.
Right.
Because the big issue with Blitz and why he can't really take this seriously is he cannot comprehend the idea of someone loving him. And
there you go.
That's sort of why he just sort of brushed us off at first, just because he's like it's just something like you can't compute it at this moment.
Exactly. He can't. Exactly. Yeah. I think that moment kind of also triggers his outburst. His outburst at the end of it there. That's the only amount of honesty I think we get from Blitz. And honestly, this kind of moment here, I was kind of dreaming of this moment between Blitz and Stoltz, in which Stoltz would be like, with Stoltz would be the one to kind of cut the ties, to be like not in the I deserve better moment, but in a this isn't right, but in a this isn't right moment. For whatever reason, I had been dreaming of this. I'd been dreaming of something like this, and it did not disappoint.
Yeah,
It did not.
this
It did
episode-
not.
Oh, sorry.
Did not disappoint.
I can accept the explanation of Stolas having reached his limit by the end after Blitz is unloaded on him and inadvertently revealed that he has a big concern that Stolas, or big insecurity that Stolas looks down on him, sees himself as so much more important than Blitz. I could see that.
I have that.
Don't think I could. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if I could accept the explanation of Stolitz reaching his limit where he calls it off the first time and just tells Blitz he has his answer just immediately upon Blitz not reacting the way he wanted. Like, that kind of struck me more as like a harumphy little pity party. It was kind of a tantrum. It's like, that's, I mean, it's kind of, if you want to open this up to, this is where we untie the knot of this, knotted emotional relationship, all right, then you have to actually untie the knots. And the one foremost is that Blitz is resistant to emotional intimacy because he has not had good results from the earlier times when he would try that. But Stolitz, he wants to take that as like some sweeping answer from Blitz that he wants to take, or just decide in his own head that I am resistant to this actually turning into emotional intimacy. He flips that in his head to, I never ever want emotional intimacy, and decides he's gonna kind of tantrum about it. I mean, and it's like, and granted, I mean, that is a pretty sticky emotional knot there. It's probably wouldn't be fun to unravel, and maybe Stolitz doesn't actually want to, but then it's like, well, all right, then you have no one but yourself to blame for trying in the first place.
Yeah.
That is true.
This episode was really difficult for me personally, especially at the end, because I had a moment a couple of years ago where these people literally abandoned me in the middle of a festival, and I had like a panic attack. And they never cared about me. They just left me there, and I had to find the parents again. It was okay after that, but I could obviously tell they were ignoring me, and they purposely left me there. So over time, as I started to not be very good at keeping up relationships, I started to become scared of losing friends. So I would become really attached to people. So I really related to Blitz in that scene, and I purposely watched it before the react because I didn't want to cry.
Right. I get you.
So
like also
because I understand Stolas' point of view, but him in that scene reminded me too much of hypocrisy and shit people tried to tell me to make up for them treating me like shit. Because I understand his point of view and not feel like he's good enough in one of the lines in When I'll See You Tonight. But I still don't get why he would kick him out when he's finally showing his true emotions. Like, I had a similar moment myself coming home from a haircut where I finally let it all out and started cussing about how much I hated the people who hurt me. And that moment echoed that too much for me.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's why I'm mixed, because I understand Solus, but he reminds me too much of awful people I've had to deal with.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why, like, I noticed I never said that this is bad writing. I actually consider it kind of a compelling twist for
Exactly.
as much as Blitz is kind of the one who's problematic in this relationship, it's
He is most certainly.
yeah, it's actually it's Stolitz's insecurities that end it for the time being.
Yeah, but also I was thinking about like what Blitz said with like all the things that you put me through, but now you know have to handle me like one of your butler, and I won't let you go. That's also really toxic because the other person have to be like, do I really want a relationship where I can't like be myself or let go of the other person?
I think you misunderstood the speech slightly. Blitz was accusing Stolitz of treating him like a butler imp, including how he was accusing Stolitz of being like, all right, I don't feel like you anymore. You can go. And so Blitz was basically saying like, oh heck no, you gotta hash this out with me. Yeah,
you can't just leave me
raw.
Yeah.
You can't just turn your nose up at me and decide, yeah, I'm not worth your time after you've dragged me this far into feelings with you. You're gonna have to hash this out.
Exactly. Instead, just like, do I not deserve your time all of a sudden? If you genuinely don't care about me, then why the fuck didn't you tell me sooner?
But it's also the transactional thing about it. It's been nothing but in the times we've seen them, it's been nothing but sex between them. It's a relationship. It's a quote. It's a transactional relationship. It's almost like between a hooker and a John.
Exactly. It's based off of trading the book for sex. So that's really all it's been.
Right, and then and then like I said, Stolitz was, and all of a sudden Stolitz is also in a very vulnerable position because he's in a considering everything he's done in his life. He's now going through a divorce and everything, and he's got a child and everything, and then and I'm not saying that Stolitz is less toxic than Blitz. The thing is, both of them are toxic in their own ways. Stolitz is in a very vulnerable position where he is so desperate for connection, he'll go to anything. And in this case, it was Blitz, and it was Blitz pretty much. And that was, you can't, if you're starved for that kind of connection and such, he reached out to the wrong imp, or to the wrong entity, to the wrong imp. And also, and but the thing is that sometimes your brain and your heart can get confused when you're in a I don't know, a compassion starved or a touch starved or some sort of starved mentality. You reach out to anything, and you sometimes project. You sometimes think
that actually happened to me. I was constantly looking for people and would basically be friends with anyone because I felt so fucking lonely after leaving all the people who constantly were making fun of me.
Yeah, it can be a very tricky kind of balancing act and such. Stolitz got a little ahead of himself, I think, in this case of Blitz.
He was a little too fast with like, if you love it that much, you have to let it go.
And there were moments where he was trying to move past towards the sexual stuff. Like, I mean, I remember in the Aussies episode, at the end of it, when I guess Blitz drops him off, and he's like, we could talk, watch a movie, or cuddle. And he's not offering sex or anything. He said, like, talk, watch a movie, and he also tries to have a date with him. He tries to do things outside of it. And Blitz, however, he's toxic in his own sense. As Day, I agree with you so much when he said Blitz cannot fathom anyone loving him because he has so much self-loathing in himself. He has so much self-loathing. He can't fathom that. I agree with you so much about that, and that is so dead on. He's so much self-loathing. He relies straight on what he knows, and he can't accept that. Stolitz even said it himself. He kind of calls him on. It's like, you can't accept that I have these feelings for you, and so, as I said before, he reaches a point where, like, what's the point in going if this person cannot and will not and may never not accept your feelings?
Exactly. Like, over time, I had to realize that other people out there actually cared about me. Because I was like, no one should care about someone who I used to think that I was crazy obsessive just for caring about people.
Right. And if you ever feel that way that it's a dangerous thing to feel like nobody cares or no one should care about you. You get into some real dark places with that sort of mentality. And I think, and one needs to do the work themselves. They need to do the work on themselves first before.
And I did the work to realize that other people cared about me.
Wonderful.
You need to care about yourself first.
As Enchanted put it, expect me to love you, but if you can't even love yourself...
Yes.
How in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Amen in here. That's exactly right. But the caveat of that, when you haven't loved yourself in or you've never ever loved yourself before, and well, mine out of the gutter. But anyway,
I was able to learn this year to love myself.
Right, but when you if you've never loved yourself, I guess to the point where you could look at yourself in the mirror and be like, not think of yourself as the best thing since sliced bread or bacon, but when you can look, bacon is pretty darn good though. So, oh yeah, but just look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm okay with this.
That. Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been able to get to this year.
Yes, wow. and that's wonderful, and it can take time and energy.
A whole year for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. For some it can take a year. It can take a number of years. Sometimes even a lifetime.
Yep. Yeah, but it took me a whole year, but then after I got that message from Second on my birthday, I was just like, oh fuck, I actually do care about myself.
There you go.
Beautiful. That's cool. And then you got up 6,000 subscribers in a few months from.
That is Google advertising, baby. I am broke.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh yeah, I love the way the ending and yeah, it's tugging on my heartstrings a bit.
Yeah.
Darn it. I did not expect for it to tug on my heartstrings. It's just a little bit, but at the same time, I'm still applauding Stolas.
Yeah,
it kind of sort of had to be done. I really didn't like you have to stay with me no matter what.
No, he didn't say no, you have to stay with me. He did not. That's straight up not the message. His point was no, you can't. You can't push me out unless you're willing to hash this out with me first. You can't just tell me I'm not important enough to, give any explanation to and expect me to stroll on out the door with nothing.
Okay, I need to watch that really.
And I think,
really close.
And I think even then, Blitz was still kind of in a mode where, I guess he's in a jumble. It seems like he's in a jumbled up mode where he doesn't get what's happening. He's like, something's going on. It's not what I want, and what's happening here. It's like he's in a state where he doesn't get what's going on. I don't even think he understands. he understands it. And even at the end of it, we know he's pissed off. But I still think on some level, Blitz still ain't getting it. He's like, that's not, he thinks it's because, think about Stolitz's reasons. He's not thinking about Stolitz's own reasons. He's thinking of, and this one, I'll admit, this one got to me when Stolitz was like saying, I think so highly of you, Blitz. I never thought you'd think that lowly of me. And that, and I think that's where, because that tells me like Blitz's words are like hitting him, like definitely hitting the mark and everything, and that exposes like what he really thinks of Stolitz in a sense. But at the same time, I think Blitz is kind of, pardon my French, but he's talking out his own ass because he's pissed off. He's mad. First of all, he's mad because he's not getting laid.
Yeah. He spent all that money on those sex toys, man.
Oh, wait a minute. He's getting blue balled. I mean, considering, I will give Blitz this, considering the massive, mangrove thing that he bought, that thing that looked like something straight out of the darkest hentais.
The giant vibrator with teeth.
I'm mad that they censored it. I'm mad they censored it. I was like, no, don't censor it. I want to see what it is.
Maybe we can find an uncensored version.
I mean, if you wanted to see what it is, just like get on the Bad Dragon's mailing list.
No, don't teach them that.
Okay, actually, I think I may. I think I may have been. I may have been on it. I was thinking, like, you know what? If I go on that list, I bet none of them are going to be like what I saw on that screen.
Oh God!
Yeah.
But
However, I ever saw Helluva Boss with sexual Luna artwork. I'm not even kidding.
However, but you know what? It'd be really funny if one of us is brave enough and goes on that site and they see the exact thing.
Oh,
and it would be like, oh my God.
They really built it in real life.
You know what? Let's find a random cosplayer and say, hey, can you build this?
Oh,
And find me a cosplayer that will be like, bet, and then start building it.
Let's go.
I think somebody's already working on it as we speak.
Somebody, you know, you're probably right. Somebody out there is probably working on it right now. To which I say, do you take cash or credit?
Yeah.
But at the same time, Blitz spent all that money. He got all that stuff. And first of all, he'd probably be pissed off he's being blue balled.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's fueling all, and that triggers his like, oh, he's doing this because I'm an imp and he's an Oisha and blah, blah, blah and such.
Yeah.
If there's anything, Stolitz is not like, one thing that Stolitz is trying to do, but he doesn't do, is that he doesn't just outright tell Blitz. He could be like, he doesn't outright, and I feel like maybe there would have been a less of an misunderstanding if Stolitz just straight up told Blitz, be like, I want a real relationship with you. But there's also another thing too. I also just realized something else that could be a thing. You also got to remember, like, he's coming out of divorce. Blitz could also be seen as a rebound.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the thing is, you gotta be careful. And the thing is, rebounds are dangerous. Rebounds are for basketball only, kids.
I dated this guy. My ex was insane.
Thank you. And
to
also
be fair,
remember,
I don't
his
think it counts as a To be fair, I don't think it counts as a rebound. I feel like he's the one you broke up their marriage for. And that's sort of like,
I forgot. I forgot.
Oh,
Blitz is the home wrecker. Blitz is the home wrecker.
Yeah.
Rick,
Blitz is the home wrecker. Blitz
Boy.
is the home wrecker.
Yes.
No,
Okay,
I ain't
well-
saying he a home wrecker, but he ain't messing with no. Oh boy. I could make a really funny lyric out of it. I've got the lyrics to Gold Digger in my brain, and now I've got to figure out how to apply it for this.
Yeah.
Like, now I ain't saying he a home wrecker. I gotta figure out the lyric for that. It's gonna be funny.
But he is really.
Okay. Well,
So Blitz is
to explain my own thoughts about like these characters, where they're at both during and after this moment, I actually want to point to a different relationship here with Blitz's relationship with Luna. Okay, like the things they say to each other, things like, okay, yeah, you're not my real dad, what? Why you always? I adopted you. Yeah, when I was almost 18, still counts. And they say things like that to each other. This does not match their actions or even necessarily what they say. After heated moments like that, Blitz storms off, and the love interest says, "So, well, Dan, you're all right." He's going to, no, he'll be back. He always comes back. When Luna, texts him that she's been laughed out of a party, he drives like something out of the Fast and Furious to come and get her. When, Blitz and Luna are like doing stuff in each other's corner, she's cheering like, "Yeah, that's my dad," or how she drives him home at the end of the night after that and gets him a glass of water and puts him to bed. And I mean, they have a fight just as toxic soon after with, Blitz trying to tell Luna on his coworker's behalf that she needs an attitude adjustment, and then the reunion that I believe was kicking Blitz in the nads. But also, like, her conversation with Octavia about, like, that you
Like,
it really
fuck
means
up
something that
sometimes.
your dad is trying. Like, okay, this is a show about, like, people who have been broken in some ways, but it's not people who have decided that they're, locked into the cruel toxicity and they like it that way. It's about people who are, broken and groping in the dark, trying to heal, as it were.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a comment. There's a comment in here I want to bring to everybody's attention in the underneath the video, which I think is which also goes to the misunderstanding thing. It was like Blitz pretending it's a joke because he wouldn't think anyone could love him. Then Stolas taking that as Blitz not having feelings back.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh,
Kind of long.
And I was like, oh, there's the misunderstanding. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't
There's
even
a
know
lot of
that much because,
understanding.
the relationship with between Blitz and Stolas, where their attempts to navigate, I mean, I think they do have a transactional function, but I think like their song, for example, at the beginning, the emotions that come and go, the thoughts and fears they express, I mean, it's, Blitz seeing this as a good arrangement they have going that doesn't need to be messed up, and Stolas seeing it as something he's enjoyed, but now he's getting very worried, features an aspect that makes him a bad person, doing wrong by Blitz. I mean, I think this is, I guess a relationship born out of something that, they kind of ran face first into each other while trying to do comparatively unhealthy things. But I mean, it's, we've seen how they play off each other one at a time. They don't have like revel in the toxicity sex and split, they talk about stuff. They can enjoy being in each other's presence, that like including like that basically it's Blitz sees this as an, okay, I enjoy this relationship when I'm up for it, but I just want to hold you at an arm's length so it doesn't become about the things I'm not good at, and Stolitz has okay, I enjoy this relationship to the point that I would want more, but I'm, unsure and insecure about getting out of second gear here.
To more.
Well,
you're just not good at more. That's the problem.
Well, I mean,
right.
I'm sorry, what?
You said he only has sex. He doesn't have more right now. He can still grow though.
Well, I mean, okay, I think you have to smooth out, okay, what just sex means. They don't, Blitzy doesn't talk about Stolitz in terms of he's one of the best I've ever been with or something like that.
No.
No. He doesn't try to disassociate as much as possible when he's with Stolitz. He, does consider this a personality who he plays off of and can enjoy doing so very much. But I mean, so again, it's that, okay, please just let me finish here. Because, okay, again, it's that, I mean, it's kind of within the theme here. It's characters who, find things as they're trying to fix the broken pieces together from themselves. But I mean, it's a work in progress. And I think that, there was another one, that same therapist who accused Stolitz of doing a good job taking the answer she was given. She also, had a lot to say about how, earnestly, bad for each other, or earnestly not interested people versus what Blitz's relationships kind of are, where, I mean, how he and Luna really have bonded together. What they say does not reflect the bond that, how they act based on, the connection they feel they have with each other. How Luna catches herself calling him dad at points and changes it to Blitz because she doesn't want to, let that out. Or in Blitz's case, stuff how he sent Millie and Moxie to save Stolitz because he had to get Luna to the vet, and that is no easy task, and how his changes when he realizes that Stolitz even can get hurt. I mean, it's not as simple as, okay, I only feel toxic things because I am an honest to God toxic person with no interest in changing. But, and for that matter, I would point out that for as many hurtful things as Blitz says when Stolitz says he wants to break off the relationship, something quite reasonable he says, at least maybe if he weren't screaming it at the top of his lungs, that, can I get a moment to think here?
I think that's the biggest point that really is in the right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I mean, Stolitz is shutting this down, before Blitz has really had an opportunity to speak for himself. And
exactly.
Yeah, and so what's coming out of Blitz right now? I mean, he's he wants this interaction that Stolitz is denying them. He's not just, mad because he's not getting his way or he's not getting his transaction that he came here for. The things he expresses, that it's all, it's building on this, you're not giving me a chance to think or respond here. He accuses Stolitz of dismissing him before he has a chance to say his part of it, and then he starts adding reasons to it, accusing Stolitz of it being for invalid reasons that end up bleeding into Blitz's own insecurities about how he worries that Stolitz actually sees him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like from my personal perspective on it, the part that I relate to the most is, can I get a fucking minute to process after everything you put me through? I had a similar incident to that where I got a message from one of the girls who abandoned me that night, was trying to work on our relationship after I'd already moved on since it had been a year. And I had to finally put it bluntly to her, this is what you did, and this is why I never want to see you again. And she did respond. She genuinely left me on red.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, Stolitz has something he accuses Blitz of here, and I would point out that Blitz did respond, and that, Stolitz is trying not to engage, and there was, what was it? And then, when, Blitz lays into Stolitz for all the reasons, he says, okay, this isn't fair, I bet it's really just on account of this, and then it turns out he didn't, catch Stolitz in the act, so to speak. He didn't make that point to Stolitz. He kind of just plain cut his heart out.
Yeah.
And when he realizes that that's what he's done, he tries to say that he's sorry, but then Stolitz closes the door on him. Well, and that's why I don't think that Stolitz is actually going to be happier for the fact that this is how he ended the relationship, because I think that he didn't have it out. Like he didn't really go looking for this resolution that he wanted, and come to the reasonable conclusion that, okay, this is like, you do not have it in you, and this person I thought I liked actually doesn't exist. He made it very all or nothing. He shut it down so fast that I think that Stolitz is also going to feel unsatisfied. I think he's going to feel bad about how this ended, just like Blitz does, and that's kind of where I think they're left at the end of this episode. I don't think that this is somebody walking away with their pride and somebody else realizing that he's bummed around too long and now it's too late. I think this is one person pushing the other out onto the ledge of, okay, let's work through this connection, and then a whole lot of missing each other with the insecurities that come out as they reveal what is stopping that connection, and then one person unwilling to take the first step, and one person even more unwilling to take the second one, and then shutting it down at the halfway point.
Yeah.
They still both have a lot of growing to do in their own way.
I think both of them definitely need this break. They need this break to kind of, I guess, kind of grow and mature and figure stuff out on their own, really. And as for like, if there is any chance of reunification, if there's any chance, if there is, great. If not, it's not.
I think there is, but I think like Blitz have to be the one.
Oh, the fans want it. The fans want it.
I mean, I don't generally recommend the bomb Japan and then so that they can rebuild Cure, but I mean, I think that it is kind of what happens sometimes. You crash and you're left devastated in a bad place, and I mean, I think that, that is where you have a choice to make. That is where you have a mountain to climb, and it can sometimes work out that way. And for that matter, it will probably work out that way, because it wouldn't exactly be much of a show if it didn't. But
exactly.
This is not.
With Stolas, I believe Stolas is going to definitely feel a void. There's definitely going to be a void between with Stolas. He's going to feel, I just sense a deep depression a deep depression and sadness and whatever in the time in ahead for Stolas. There'll be a void there, but I think
He was already on antidepressants, so it's gonna be
Well, that
worse
is
now.
Yeah.
well, it is true, but also I think there's an opportunity in here.
Also,
he can
the one thing I will
he
think,
can use the pain.
the one thing I will note though, I think didn't they show him running out of his antidepressants, which might be a hint that he's going to go a very dark path.
Oh, yeah, that's true. In the start, yeah.
I can see it going different ways. I mean, Stolitz, we know, still has a bit of a house to get in order. His wife still wants to wage financial warfare on him. His daughter.
And also, and remember,
strained
ex-wife is trying to
relationship.
kill him. Ex-wife's trying to kill
Oh,
him
yeah,
too.
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, well, she
Well,
was trying to kill him, and then
I don't think anymore.
and then she called it off because she realized that it was too late to pull that trigger now that her daughter was 18.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's like, but yeah, that's, so I mean, she has to definitely scheme, but now it has to be a more complicated scheme. So yeah, Stolitz, he definitely has a house to get in order, and I mean, I don't know, I don't, like, for as much as he's, limped through so far, I don't know if, like, without some more pushes, I could see him falling to pieces. With some more, like, whether related to Stella's plan or otherwise, I could, but I mean, yeah, if they just leave him off screen, then I have to imagine he's, well, if just save for defeating Stella's plot, they just leave him off screen, I would have to imagine that it would be he's still limping along when Blitz comes back to him.
I think I would love him to kind of use the pain, to use it and excuse me. Allergies, I hate him.
Curse you, pollen!
Curse you, Polly!
Gosh, you pollen! Why must you look so pretty coming out of flowers? Ugh.
Dang.
Gosh, you flowers! But anyway, oh no, I coughed so much I lost my train of thought.
He wants Stolas to use the pain.
Thank you. Okay, I want him to use the pain. I see it. He can use it to become like his own badass. To become like not again. To become like his own kind of badass to be his own badass. To kind of, I guess.
Live us don't accept the toxicity moral.
And minus
Like
the on no antidepressants, we might have a why not so serious Stolas.
Point taken. Well, point taken. Point taken. Or it could be that.
Oh no, that could
Or it
actually
could be.
he could actually become a really bad thing. He could be the main bad guy. He could become the main bad guy with no antidepressants and going down a deep.
Well, I have to imagine one of the most powerful
Oh.
demons in hell can get antidepressants when he wants.
Well,
But
maybe
Wait
he
a
just
minute.
wants
Wouldn't
to.
Lucifer need some? I mean,
Yeah,
wouldn't
he
he?
Yeah.
brought out a lot of those things. He's the king of hell.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Alright.
That's the reason why Stolas
Lucifer
ran out of
took them all.
antidepressants.
That's why he
Lucifer
doesn't
bought
have
them
any.
all. Lucifer bought all the
Absolute favorite
antidepressants.
line
Hell.
from Lucifer is, "Ha! Take that, depression."
so true. I mean, I could see them definitely like going a darker place with Stolitz, like that he becomes a darn near lost soul. I don't know if Helluva Boss needs a twist villain from one of the main cast per all the ones it
Agreed.
already has on the table.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree. Let
Yeah.
Hasbin take care of the twist villains and everything. Helluva
Yeah.
Boss, I agree. I agree with you, second. I don't think it needs like a twist.
I don't know.
Yeah.
In the way that I'm feeling it, it could actually be a really interesting and also kind of beautiful thing if it like goes fully off the deep end and comes back from it. But
That's a thought.
but I know. If I called it, I called it. Okay.
Oh yeah. Fair enough. Fair
You
enough.
guys
Yeah,
are going to be like, no, Dave, why did you do this?
no. We don't be like, yeah, figured it out. We'd all be like, "Oh my gosh, Dave figured it out."
If it happens, then I'll literally shout at the top of my lungs, Daylover called it. Even if
You know what? What
Nobody-
I will join.
All the neighbors are going to be in what?
Who's Daylover?
Who's Daylover?
oh, my neighbor's just gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? So Daylover called it.
And then it says like, "Who's Daylover?" And then it says, "Who's Daylover, you ask?"
Yes.
And then I just appear in the top half in a cane.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, there was a Danish go,
Who's Daylover, you ask? Daylover, you ask. So glad we'll gladly explain it to you in song.
In song. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting in the corner being like, ah.
No. You mean the corner, and he's like, and you're like, every time.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
Not again.
DC called it too when they were running out of the antidepressants.
Oh yeah.
And we'll just have to do it again. And we'll just have to do it again. Be like, who's DC? Who's DC, you ask?
And then they'll break into song.
Yeah.
DCUC was a CDC.
At that point, if it comes to that, it's like, who's DC, you ask? Then someone has to yell out, remix!
Yes. But, okay. We're talking about relationships. A relationship that worked in this one is Millie and Lux. I think they're spying off each other like really good.
Yeah.
There's not that much of them this time, but I think like they're like it seems to be like they're still functioning good.
Well, they pop out of the pool French kissing at the end, so.
That's true.
Like,
And Luna using her turning into a human power, that was interesting.
yeah, when she needs to crouch behind something better.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, because of all that fur and like the ears and stuff wouldn't fit behind the pool.
Yeah.
Oh wait, all of them were like shot pretty. Because I mean, I noticed the cherubs. They we kind of see our main characters from their perspective a little bit. Like they look really hardcore and badass and cool. Boy.
And they're also on a downward spiral because they got them kicked out of heaven. So they were
Still my pick for
nice
worst
things while
episode.
stealing people's wallets.
Yeah.
Actually,
I apologize to you guys and our listeners for coughing and sniffling so much into the mic when realizing I could have just all this time I forgot to mute myself.
No worries, I've been yelling everyone to death.
I guess that's as good a time as any to talk about the other part of the plot, though, which one of the things it says here I read, that, the three cherubs, they talk about wanting to be redeemed and stuff.
Maybe at
the boy goat
hotel, who knows? That could be a gateway for a sort of crossover between the two.
I agree.
That would be fun. I mean, I think the fan base is going to want a Helluva Boss Has Been Hotel crossover before too long.
Oh, absolutely.
It needs to be seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Please, Missy Pop, please.
Now I'm thinking about it. Didn't the little goat guy have like more light on him when they were sitting in the
scene with the dorks where they're interrogating them and like the little goat guy is the nicest of the three. They turn the lamp above him and zoom out so like the other two are sitting there looking at the goat and he's sitting there with like a heavenly light over him. So
and he's also the only one that's questioning what they're doing for money.
So maybe
he seems to be by far the most
and then the other two will just have to suffer.
Yeah.
I love it that they they also put in the line, I'm just a widow baby.
And then he just straight up beats him again.
Oh my gosh, it's like instantly hearing that line, it's like, especially in the I'm a little baby thing, it's like, oh, instant kick.
Oh yeah, saying it in that voice. Yeah, he appears to be the leader of the three.
Yeah, I think.
I love it.
the Cletus.
I love it. I love it. His name is Cletus.
I will say,
Yeah.
I do like the dynamic they seem to be going with the angels now, because before they're all sort of generic the same. Here there's more personality. Like the one baby one is more the schemer, sort of like the sort of pathetic, but like sort of the schemer one, sort of the leader
Yeah.
schemer.
Yeah.
The female, the girl one is more the one comfortable doing the dark side, and then the other goat is the more still trying to be a straight arrow cherub, while the others are not.
The most
Yeah.
sincerely
The others have
moral
gone
some
to
of
the
the
dark
three.
side.
Yeah, Colin is just basically like the fandom has already collectively agreed, like, oh yeah, he's the one who should literally lead the group
He's
or
the only
fight
one that
back.
has a chance of getting back up there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know
what
what?
the-
Yeah, he will probably be the last one to lose to either get into heaven or get back into heaven, or lose his, I guess, lose his
Maybe
soul.
he will
down.
Innocence.
fall. Yeah.
Like for real now that he already has.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Also-
Sorry.
I just
I also
thought
wanted
about
to
something
highlight.
else.
Oh, sorry. I also
Uh,
wanted to highlight an interesting point with Fizzerali, where you can see that he's become more healthy now that he's left Mammon. You can see that he's sort of gained more of a
Oh
healthy
yeah,
weight.
yeah, that's
while
true.
he
He
have,
seems
like,
more
Gain
happy.
some width.
deathly
He's gained more
skinny.
width.
Yeah.
He's also
Yeah,
actually wearing like, casual clothing. He's no longer wearing his uniform, which shows that he's more comfortable now. And he honestly
Yeah.
seems happier.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, he seems like he's just like a just plain old pleasant presence here.
He's finally free from Mammon, so he no longer has to be anxious about whatever he does.
That's
and I mean,
true.
that's-
Very true.
That is kind of nice, because I was like half sure the next time we saw Ozzy and Fizz, it would be, in the middle of Mammon delivering on his words at the end of their last episode that, he was going to regret that. They were going to get that, like, it was going to have to be, like, defending their reputation or something, and the fact that it's just Fizz, like, being chill and being Blitz's pal and, loving life again.
Yeah.
That's honestly kind of refreshing.
I think one thing that was interesting was it actually showed like the blowout sale, which shows that Mammon has fully given up on Fizz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, like, Fizz dolls are on a blowout sale or something?
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. He wants to get rid of them all because he's finally given up on Fizz Raleigh.
I don't think so. I think he still might come back with a little vengeance.
But
He
it's
might
just
go
a
for
short
petty
term.
payback, but I mean, we'll.
He might
He's
just be
getting
bitter
rid of
right
stuff. Yeah, sure.
Seems like he's really
Yeah,
just bitter right now.
I think that I think he will have a payback, but I think Mahmoud is also like extremely easily distracted. So like
Yeah.
time to get my revenge on his legs. Like, ooh, look at these new toys if you can tell.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Uh-huh.
Wait.
You sold them all to Blitz.
Yeah. Oh, and as for the dorks in this, with everything we see them preparing, it's like, oh, and that, go figure.
Now that Blitz
the
no longer
stars-
has Stolas, I imagine him buying all of the Fizzerali dolls.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's all we need.
scene.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
dorks.
That
and
actually would be a
cherubs,
funny
the guest
joke.
stars of my least favorite episode teaming up with the stars of my favorite episode.
That came to my point. We found out that the Darks has no limits at all. They will send anybody and everybody in their place as long as they're fine.
Yeah, and sending the cherubs with robotic enhancements that does appear to only be the amuse bouche, because they've got some weapons coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have
Yes.
no morals at all. None so whatever. We think that.
What are you talking about? They're protecting those goddamn American heroes.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And also, I think I don't even think we have seen the top of what they're capable of. I think they're hiding the main. I think that what they did with the cherubs was a test.
It was a shot in the dark, I guess is the right way. Yeah, like, I mean, okay, I know that, yeah, as far as villains go, like, I mean, we need some, Rita Repulsas and Lord Zeds that aren't them, but yeah, I think the dorks are like a perfect supplier of the putty patrollers and the monsters of the week. I think that, like, if that's what they have in mind for with them, which maybe so, like, that appears to be a very good use of them, although I'm sure there's also going to be the conspiracy and the plan to bring down all of hell and such, like, if they really do want...
out after Stolas. So is he going to be weak now? Are they going to find out that he's weak? Are they going to...
I don't think they particularly care about Stolas so much as they do about, like, just, like, getting Blitz so they can say that... get Blitz so they can say that mission wasn't a failure because it's his picture they show the cherubs. And then saying that they have, or at least being able to say that they neutralized the threat of hell in some way so they can justify their budget or whatever it is they care about.
But wait, didn't they get a picture of Stolas on one of their cameras? They got a picture of all of his eyes and was just like, oh, we want to figure out what this is. So if we find out...
more powerful than Alistair.
Huh?
Oh yeah, Stolas is more powerful than Alistair, so
there's
a lot
to do. Yeah,
Stolas is more powerful than...
like they're on par with each other, but I think like Stolas is a little bit more powerful, yes.
I don't know. Well, like that meeting with the very important demons to talk about the invasion of heaven in Has-Been Hotel that Alistair was allowed to come to. I mean, like, it's always possible I don't have the perfect read on the Has-Been Hotel lore, but like those Stolas seemed like those guys versus Stolas seemed like the kind of guy who would have been at that meeting rather than in charge of it.
Yeah, or someone from the Goetia family.
There should have been at least one Goetia at that meeting,
Right. If not Stolas himself.
Yeah. Jen, do you want to hear our I called it theory that I have with our show?
Yes.
Let's hear I called the theory.
Yes.
Okay. So I had the theory that Alistair is actually once upon a time was an angel and he fell from heaven and then he started to take over the bosses. The reason why I think this is because I think that the main angel lady, I think that they had a thing going on, and when that thing didn't go the way that it was supposed to, he brokenheartedly fell, or she doomed him from heaven, and then he became a demon, and that's why he was hunting the demon bosses.
Oh.
This isn't just a fan theory, this is like a conspiracy fan theory.
So if we figure that out in the future, I called that too.
So you think like Alistair and Sarah were a thing?
Yes.
Yep.
That or Eve.
That's a high roll. We'll find out.
You know what?
Then I'll do the I call it the thing that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Yay.
Second, get ready and remember, second, keep your top hat and cane ready.
Yeah.
And your singing voice in good shape. Make sure you have lots of tea and honey with that.
Yeah.
I'll need it. I have 2 ranges, low and lower.
Yeah. I'll make sure to go to plenty of singing lessons.
That'll work. That'll work.
Yeah.
That can still work. That can still work. But also, Dave,
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. I didn't burn, flat ring of fire, flat ring of fire.
I like that. But Dave, okay, But I'll bite. But the thing is, I've got a little bit more money on Alistair and Eve.
Okay, so your money is Alistair and Eve. I still feel like it's the main angel, not the young one, but the main angel with the 4 wings and
Sarah.
all of that mess. I forgot her name.
Seraphim.
Oh, Sarah.
I say you're both Nazi faggots.
Okay.
Oh my god. The one who's like the one who had oh my gosh, the seraphim designs for Sarah. I absolutely just loved her design, and the fact that she had eyes in her hair.
Do you know what she's based on?
A biblically accurate
angel.
seraphim angel.
Yes.
A biblically accurate seraphim angel. They're supposed to have nothing but eyes. It's like that one.
I can't wait to see the real one.
Oh, we already did.
I love her design.
That was the only whiff, I think, because like I could accept them trying to make the nothing but wings and eyes angels and the angel with that. I can accept trying to make them kind of cute and kosher, but I mean, I'm sorry, like the wheel ones, they look just like you see like sketches of them just trying to like description for description what they saw. It's like delightfully bizarre and otherworldly. It's just so cool. And then you see it in Has Been Hotel, and it's just basically a wheel for a head on top of a cloak.
Pretty much. That's what
they did do the one with the ox head and the beard. No.
You look down Sarah's council, you can see all the biblically accurate angels.
Pretty much. I just loved her design so much. And like I said, eyes in the hair. Yep. Whatever cosplayer attempts that or does it.
I've seen a couple of them actually. They did well.
Oh really? Cool. So you've seen actual Sarah cosplayers?
Yeah, I think I have.
Do any of them do they have eyes in their hair?
I'll check.
Maybe. Who knows?
Did they go the whole 9 yards?
Yeah.
Oh my god! If I ever saw one and they did this, someone has to take my picture and put a caption of a word bubble that says "Be not afraid," and then over here is me be like, "Ma'am," or "Sir," or "Ma'am," or whatever your pronouns are. I am absolutely freaking terrified. Like, I am in awe and I am terrified right now. I think I have just wet my pants.
That actually reminds me of like Facebook video I've seen.
I'm surprised about this.
That reminds me of
Facebook. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone went for eyes in the hair. It does look like some people went for a lot of like, glow in the dark beads or stickers and stuff to try to, I guess, allude to that. Mm-hmm. Like at least have something in that.
The eyes in the hair, I guess, are for when she's like really kind of afraid or triggered, or they're for intense emotions. Yeah, they're for those intense emotions.
Okay.
There is an Emily one where they actually do the eye that appeared above.
One ear. That's not.
Yeah, are you looking at the same Emily one where they have like an eye on top of her head and like a hair braid?
Yep. It should be multiple small ones though, not one big one.
Yeah. I'll take what I can get.
It'll work. That will work. And you know what? If somebody has the time and money and budget and skills, they make animatronic eyes that open in the wig.
Oh no, Jenn, got some.
Yes.
Players with multiple arms that actually move, so they can do it.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're getting ideas. That's not
cosplayers who build cosplays like my friend builds magic decks.
Yeah.
Bingo.
And me. Like how I feel.
I have like my fursuits are so incredibly detailed for some reason.
Oh yeah, you have some like those awesome masks and stuff too.
Yeah. One of them was $600 and the other one was over $100.
Oh my gosh!
Over 100. The person actually got into controversy. Yeah. So I'm not gonna leak their name, but I just want to say they're the reason I left the Theron community.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, right now I'm building a dice tower with a beholder on top. It takes forever.
Yeah. Thank you, blatantly toxic people. You make it very easy to tell where we do not belong.
Exactly. It's just like the one main allegation that was right was lying about the materials. He said that after this mask fade, he stopped using cardboard for the masks. Chaotic is muzzle, fangs, and horns are made out of cardboard. And I'm pretty sure there's some of it under the ears if I took off the belt. So that was a
Who
plain
him like the
lie,
Iron
and I
Sheik?
spent over $100 on this mask, and most likely cannot get a refund.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was the one that was the most accurate.
No. Oh,
That was just a blatant lie.
jeez. Yeah, we should swap stories about bad salesmanship stuff sometime. Daylover, I think, could tell you 100,000 horror stories.
I know.
I have one about the worst book I ever bought for someone as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out I uncovered a whole scam of these books that I probably should have left a very strongly worded online review about, but it seemed like a couple people were on top of that one, so whatever.
Today we thought that we had been scammed with like this brushing scam, but it turned out that it was just these wood pellets that my dad bought like 5 months ago that the guy was just too lazy to put on the doorstep. So he was really putting it up, and we thought he was scamming us, but no, he was just lazy.
Wow.
As Rick Moranis once put it, even in the future, nothing works.
Are you sure that was Rick Moranis or was that Christopher Lloyd?
No, you know, Spaceballs.
Oh!
He was
Of course
like
it was Rick.
so
Yeah.
like easy. Like yesterday, he was like, "Oh yeah, we'll take the package," and we were just like, "Shouldn't you have brought the package already?" And just like, "Nope." And we gave him the slip and everything. So we were just like, "Oh, he's fucking scamming us." But then when we checked, my dad literally had to take the box out of the truck and bring it in because the guy genuinely did not want to bring it in.
Okay.
Why?
And the only information they gave was big box. That's
Shit.
all
There
they
is a
gave
big
us.
box, yes.
Oi. Oi. Dad must be a strong guy.
It was an absolute disaster.
Ugh.
Well, hey, at least the dishwasher is finally fixed.
Here.
There you
It
go.
took years for us to finally get them to give us one, and it is a used one, but anything is better than the like 20-year-old dishwasher we had beforehand.
Of course.
Oi. Oi, that was
So
like
the
that
used one
car.
they just gave us is probably a lot less old.
Here. I feel
So
like
it gets
DC was...
used because of the scratches.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like DC was saying he wanted to be, in bed by about this time, though, if I...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I have a few more
Yeah,
minutes,
that'd be
but
nice.
yeah, we probably should at least
Maybe
wrap
we'll
up
do
the thoughts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, one thing I felt I needed to comment about the side plot. I feel like because one issue I kept having a lot with Helluva Boss is often the B plot is just not very well integrated into the story. But I actually thought it was very well done in this episode.
Yeah.
Like it felt balanced, where like you could tell it was the side plot, like with the angels and all that, but it felt meaningful and not dragged out. So yeah.
Well, the funny
yes,
thing is to say
congrats.
that, and this is not me disagreeing with you, mind you, but yeah, there's almost zero overlap between them. They're like, they happen like asymptotically to each other, just running parallel and never crossing sense for the fact that the reason the other Helluva Boss and the other imp employees were there was because of the A plot. As a matter of fact, you could almost call the Angel one like the A plot because it's where things are progressing and being accomplished and taking up parts of the runtime, where the Blitz plot, we call it the A plot because it's like so much heavier and more meaningful and unquestionably more devastating. But yeah, it's like other than getting ready for it, it is really just like this powerful as all heck little scene that happens at the end. And I mean, yeah. And with that, I'm like, yeah, both of these things would be happening. And yeah, heck yeah, I'll watch a story about them happening at the same time. Why not? Like, there's just, they never cross, but they also in no way get in the other one's way, not tonally, not pacing wise, and not plotting wise.
Yeah. This episode.
Also, I could say,
oh, sorry.
I was saying, but I think also why the side plots worked well is because there was progress on all fronts. Because like this one is like bringing, well, it seems like it's ending, but it's really just bringing like Blitz's and Stolas' relationship to the next level. But on top of that, like the Angels thing, it's developing where they left off. It's developing where the Dorks left off, and like sort of showing their growth and some preparing. But it's also showing like character development for like the rest of the Imps crew, because they didn't just like get a tip that the Angels were trying to kill them. They were just like, it's like, yeah, let's make sure like basically Blitz doesn't screw stuff up. So they're like following him, and that's where they found the Angels. So it's when they actually do care about him and his relationship with Stola. So it's like, yeah, there's just lots of development all around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Props to Helluva Boss too for being able to give us like different styles of fight scenes, you know, not making it feel like we're getting
cool.
Yeah, we don't feel like we're getting the same one over and over with different faces, but nor do we feel like we're throwing out like what we enjoyed characters being able to do. Like, I guess it doesn't have the mucha lucha problem, I guess I'll call it, where like they toss out moves from like the winning moves are never in one episode what they were in another episode, whereas like, yeah, Moxie is still a sharpshooter, Millie still loves her that axe, and Luna will still tear something to shreds by her teeth. But this time I think it's closest to the striker fight, in that both sides like fight off each other with like complex and skillful moves, but unlike the striker fight this time, the what of what they're using is a lot more important, like how they clash, like how one thing leads to another thing leads to another thing, Rube Goldberg effect, how they have to like play chess and compete athletically at the same time, and it's just a whole nother thing that we haven't gotten before, and again, very fun to watch.
Yeah. Like, this episode was rough, but also really fun for me. I really liked seeing all the character interactions with like Luna and Fizz, and I honestly really enjoyed it. It's just the last scene that got me, because it was just like Stolas. While I do still think he's a cool character, he just reminded me too much about how people would sort of dismiss me and try to kind of throw me away without me being able to give an explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's you kind of wonder, like, yeah, Stolitz, he I mean, I guess his problem was always like a little bit, you know, what being shut in and abused while he was shut in has made him into. Like, he's a very kind person. He tries his little feathered butt off, but he also he's maybe not, I don't want to say he's not the most mature person, because he does go out of his way to do right by people, so that's probably not the best word for it. He's not the most seasoned person. Like, I feel like he like I you know I don't know, like,
he doesn't have the experience to sort of deal with how complex this relationship is.
Well, like, I mean, well, like me now versus me at 18, 19, 20, I feel like I have like a better sense of how to, if I need to, like, watch out for people and do right by them, and like, you know, if they didn't actually mean any harm, to maybe like shrug off why they'll accidentally clip me and just be like, okay, I think you need to think about what you just did here and why it's not going to lead to the solution you want it to. versus,
Yeah.
where if I were, 19, 20, 21, something, I probably would have been like grasping at straws, people doing stuff like that, just like alarm bells going off and just trying to not collapse myself. And Stolitz, I feel like he's closer to that version of me, that like he can be very kind to people, but he maybe can't keep the ship on course when like they start to fall to pieces all of the time.
Hmm.
That's the way to put that.
Yeah. Like,
Hard to steer a sinking ship.
yeah.
But I mean, and Blitz, for his, I don't know if he can either, but like he does seem like the type of person who's like more used to not going down in the face of turbulence. Like, I mean, even if he, completely messes it up and blows everything to pieces, it won't be because he ran out of answers. It'll just be because he picked the wrong one, as he's prone to do.
Yeah. Like, it took forever for me to get out of the sort of mentality where I was like, either I was really mad at the world and everything, or I thought that I didn't deserve the world. And it went back and forth so much until finally I reached the point where it just like, I do care about myself. I do care about other people. And sort of like Blitz's outburst, I finally realized for a second about how people actually treated me, how it affected me, and how I was able to finally move on and cut those people out.
Incidentally, I will say, like, even inadvertently, I feel like each and every one of us has revealed something personal about themselves talking about this episode.
Really?
Like whether how we deal with hardship, or like what, healthy self-helping looks like to each of us, or just any of the above.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've got to give this show props for being able to, like, dig that deep and, making us all feel the need to, pull that
Consider
out
it
to address something like that.
It's a show about it's a show about demons in hell. Who'da thunk?
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk?
Hey,
Who'da
forgive me,
thunk?
guys. I'm going. It was nice to meet you. Nice
Thank
to
you
see
so
Jenn.
much.
Boy.
Oh,
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed meeting you guys too.
This is what happens
Absolutely.
when it's only one person's day off in the couple and not the other. I got a little energy. Daylover needs to go to bed.
Good night, Day.
But
Good night, Day.
it was good to actually meet y'all.
Called Daylover,
Yeah,
not Night
it
Lover.
was an honor meeting you guys.
Here.
Yes.
Awesome having you aboard.
So glad you could join us.
Of course,
Mhm.
I'll always try to tune in on these because you guys are super nice.
Mm-hmm.
No, we try to be. We try to be.